Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 25 with the Charlotte Silver Wolves. I hope you had a lovely Halloween if you celebrate it. I'm actually recording this the day before Halloween, so I also don't know how the World Series has turned out, so no spoilers. Um, but yeah, we made the postseason and got beat pretty quickly. We're in kind of this weird transition era, right? One moment. Dear my, Lucius Ledgister, what a fucking Chad. What a name. You've got to love it. Anyways, yes, back to the story. Um, we're in this weird transition period where we're trying to figure out what our new identity is going to be. We have three phenomenal starting pitchers, truly phenomenal, and we have enough mid-tier talent that there's more on the way. So the single biggest question this offseason is going to be, what do we do about Sergio Castillo? And I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. I think there's a lot of potential answers to that question. And it begins with the most important question of them all, which is, can we afford him? He is wanting to get paid like $45 million a year. That is a lot of money. It is objectively a large sum of money. And I don't really have ways to make money back right now. I just don't have it. So obviously, we keep Creo for one more year. That's such an obvious decision, it's not even really worth mentioning. But the question becomes, what do we do from there? And I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Because, yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what it's going to take to keep him. And I don't know if it's a smart idea to put that much money on a pitcher to be fair, he is an Iron Man, which means likely to be highly durable even as he gets older. This isn't like Matsuda, right? Like, if you look at his career so far, he's been awesome. Damn, that's a lot of money. I want to come back and talk to him in a minute. I want to make sure we make all the other decisions we need to make first. Coaching is good. Development lab. Somebody pointed out, by the way, that Ariola has some pretty good outfield stats, which is true. Um, so that is one path we could go with him. So teaching him another position is worthwhile. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's teach him a new position and see what happens. Learn a new position, please. Um, Billy Pickering to keep cranking out control, please. I feel like Zach Bougere needs some real help offensively if he's ever gonna let his glove do the talking. Let's get him picking up some plate discipline. Let's look at our prospects. Um, you have so much upside, Mr. Heil. Like, ridiculous amounts of upside. I like you a lot. Let's get Boardman working on control. I think that's sensible. I think teaching Darren Heil some play discipline is very sensible. And the same for Andy Gillen's too. There we go. Done. All right, salary arbitration numbers. I feel like I don't know what Archuleta's upside actually is, but he's a good enough pitcher that we're gonna go ahead and give him a new deal. I'm not gonna guarantee the rotation, but I will guarantee you a roster spot. There we go, done. Man, Sean Lesko is a good pitcher when he can stay healthy. And I think because we are going to need some help in the bullpen, I think it's worthwhile giving him his raise. So we will. But I don't feel great about it. And I do think we're going to have a challenging decision to make here momentarily. I feel like Pat McCauley's been pretty reliable for 2 consecutive seasons, so a pretty modest raise is worthwhile, I think. Yeah, bro, you're not getting 4 million. I don't know what you think you would, but that's not happening. Okay, Juan Ospina is not good enough to be being paid 4 million here. He just isn't. I'm gonna go ahead and non-tender him, but I'm gonna try to trade him for a prospect if I can make that happen. He's just not worth it. He isn't. Point blank. It's fine. I will happily let somebody else sign him if they wish to do so. Josh Lutzov is okay, but he's wanting like substantial more money, and I'm not even going to guarantee him that he's going to get the major league. So I'm just going to go and non-tender him as well. Eligio Baltastuzzi, I think, has earned a raise. I think that's a reasonable thing for him to request. All right, and Fuso wants a huge, gigantic mega raise. He's such a dynamic player that he's worth it, and I'm gonna go ahead and give him what he's asking for. I'd like to get him cheaper, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see his value going down unless he gets seriously hurt. So, bruh, you're not getting $6 million. Don't be stupid, mate. Okay. So the real question with Creo is one of twofold. Either A, we give him his mega contract, or B, we sign him for 1 year, prepared to lose him next year. He's been so good. He's been really good. Yeah, I don't see a world in which we let him go and find a better pitcher. I have good pitchers on my roster, that's for sure. But another pitcher of his caliber just doesn't exist on this team. Um, because we've invested pretty heavily in position players recently, which was smart. Like, well, I'm glad that we did it, but it's absolutely not a guarantee. Oh, Chris Burkett's actually really good. We're gonna need to make some room on the 40 man anyway. He's not getting cheaper. I think that is the single most important thing to keep in our minds. He's not getting cheaper. He's only going to get more expensive. Fuck. I'm gonna try to nickel and dime you a little bit. And I hope you forgive me for this. You can have 40 million these couple years, and then I want 2 team options. We have to do it. We have to. Yeah. And I mean, this is probably going to say goodbye to Casey Cho when he gets old enough. That's fine. But yeah, like a pitcher of this skill level who's consistently outperformed his ratings and is also, by the way, incredibly durable is the exact kind of pitcher you want on your team. 20 million%. Right decision. It hurts from a perspective, but Chris Mayer can go to hell. Kurt Matthews, he was nothing special. We can do better. You can be minor league contracted. Josh Burt Knight can be. You can be. And you can be. Oh, okay. So the real question is this: do we offer Nate Quinn compensation? And that is a really good question. Because when he is on, nobody in the league is better. I'm surprised he only won 2 reliever of the year awards because I think he's deserved it more years than that. However, he's also incredibly fragile. And I don't think bringing him back makes sense. And I'm concerned that he'll take the qualifying offer. Aha. Essentially, we'll be signing him for another year at a pretty steep raise. However, the risk is that he takes it, right? Like, that's the risk. And if he takes it, we have a really highly compensated relief pitcher who may not even be available for a part of the season if he gets injured again. And that sucks. Like, that is a bad deal. He's been so good, though. I don't think we can afford it. I don't think it's smart. I think we take the L, see his value in free agency, and maybe snap him up or someone else from free agency. I can't do it. No, that's it. Final answer. He's gonna have to go, which really sucks. But I can't spend that much money on a fragile reliever. I just can't. Not after I'm about to hand Sergio Carrillo basically part ownership in the team. You're not terrible, but you're not good either. So I will not pay your posting offer. I will allow some other team to concern themselves with you. He's just not very good. Yeah, he throws hard, but his control is terrible. I know. Even though I don't think Alejandro Ayala is going to be anything too special, he could be. And I'd rather have him than your jank ass reliever. Mitch Cobbles is volunteering at a soup kitchen. I love it. Don't like scald your junk in it, though. We need you. Nice. This drives me nuts, by the way, the fact that it spills over. Not enough to do anything about it, but it is annoying. Okay, I got Silver Slugger for whom? Casey Cho. Okay. I guess. Sure. 75 bases. Holy shit, bro. Dusty Hackett is on the free agent list. Good for him, man. Good for him. All right, what do we want? I could use a proper first baseman. This is true. Um, Vuz, Burkett, and Moreno all get added to the roster. I'm gonna go ahead and remove Lupe Soto. I don't need another pure defensive catcher. Or somebody actually wants to trade for him. Like, somebody's got to be like, no, okay, apparently nobody is like that. Fair enough. I'll give some thought to if I want to keep any of these other guys here. Like, Kevin Mercer has a lot of upside to him if he had any control whatsoever. Jonathan the Kipper. Ben Stuff. Like, there are decent players here. I just don't know whether any of these guys should get a major league contract, is the thing. Anyways. Zapata's aging gracefully. But he is still not quite the same player he used to be. I mean, like, 90% of Sergio Zapata is better than 120% of other players, so I'm not like, oh my god, what a fucking loser. That's not me, bro. Alright, free agency. We have a lot of money to spend. A pretty fair amount of money to spend. I need a reliever. Ideally one who isn't too expensive. Wait, Naquin's salary demands have dropped significantly. I'll tell you what, bro. I'll give you 3 years with two team options. We're going to do it for 11 million. Yeah, that's an easy decision. I waited him out and got a pretty damn good player as a result. I'd still like another arm or two in the bullpen. What's David Romero's thing? David Romero's actually pretty decent. Is that good stuff? Yeah, he's just a good pitcher. I don't quite know why Houston's letting him go, but I will happily make their loss my game. Not giving you the closers rule, though, but I will give you a 1 year deal. I'll give you a 3-year deal if you'll stop bugging me about being a closer. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it, man. I'm not guaranteeing you that role. Don't be a fucking weirdo, bro. Corey Williamson would look awfully good if I had anywhere near that kind of money to sign. Yen Yen Chuko is actually a pretty decent player. I could definitely see getting some good stuff out of him. And remember last episode I was saying we don't have a lot of power as a team? He would handle that handsomely. I think we go for it. Yeah, I think it just makes sense. It addresses my number one offensive issue, which is first base, with somebody who's relatively young and has a good bit of power. Something this team hasn't had, doesn't have a ton of now that Zapata's starting to slow down. Not counting, of course, Baltistuzzi, but I don't know how much I trust him. Being completely real with you, I don't know how much I trust him to be an above average producer for very long. So yeah, that feels like a pretty good offseason. By waiting on Nate Quinn, he's taking a pay cut, which is all I wanted. Like I didn't want to lose him, I just didn't want to pay him what he was thought he was worth. Okay. Luis Bautista is a pretty classic defense only dude. Juan Herrera has nothing to offer. And we know John Tata, right? And he hasn't gotten better since we let him go. Like, I'm not saying a Pat McCauley isn't fantastic, but I'm not getting enough for him. Like, none of those prospects interest me in the slightest. I'm just being real. I'm just being honest. None of those prospects, I think, have any chance to be very successful, so I'm just not going to trade for the sake of trading. What a dog's breakfast of Hall of Fame candidates. Hey, Gunnar Henderson's pretty great. Hmm. I think he goes in as a Baltimore Oriole if he makes it, which is unfortunate because I think he played more games with me. But I get it. Bobby Wood Jr. should have been in last year. I don't know why he's having to wait. We'll vote for Yamamoto. Sure, I'll vote for Corey Seager and Fernando Tatis Jr. and Trey Turner. And Aaron Nola, though it's a lost cause. Like, Aaron Nola is not going to get elected. He's too far behind the curve. Manny Machado. Vlad Guerrero Jr. Two other wins is a big deal at this point in Major League history, so I think he's got some chance to attract some people. I don't really feel that Pete Crow Armstrong is actually a Hall of Famer, but I feel that on this ballot, he's as close as anybody is. I don't know why in the fuck I got 2,800 hits is not going to make the Hall of Fame. That's so crazy to me. Um, but whatever. I feel like Shane McClanahan might improve if we give him a chance. For Adley Rutschman, and I might as well vote for your mom. No. I would vote for your mother if she was a talented baseball player in the major leagues, but I feel like nobody else here is that amazing. I think if we're going for 50 WAR over 18 years isn't the best. It's not bad, certainly. But if you don't have any big numbers of any kind, I don't know. I guess I could vote for Corbin Carroll. I don't feel great about it, but someone's got to vote for him. Did Frankie Lindor make the Hall of Fame? What's the Legends Gallery? I don't know, bro. Let's find out. While this is loading, I will be back momentarily. It is absolutely ridiculous how warm it is in Texas these days. It's wild. I know you might be sitting here in the snow, like, what the fuck, Abby? Shut your pie hole. But, which is fair. Which is fair. I grew up in the Midwest. I know what cold is like, but having to have your air conditioning on at like 7:30 at night on a Wednesday is just weird. It's just weird. Yes, it is in fact the Hall of Fame. Okay. We do sortable HOF. Let me do Lindor. And let me see. Did he make it? No, he didn't make it. I think he got 10-yeared out, if I remember right. I mean, here's the thing. I think he's a Hall of Fame worthy player, but I'm not that upset that he didn't make it. So I'm not gonna like force him in or anything. I don't think that's sensible. You know? I mean, he's one of my favorite players and played for Cleveland, but I don't think that is like, yes, 100% Hall of Famer, let's go. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, Carbajal is fine. Madura is meh. And Humphreys is meh. I think what I'm finding most annoyed about this is that you're not, especially if I'm picking up his salary by like handing you cash. Like Carbajal by himself isn't enough of a return. I've got loads of players like Carbajal in my system. I need something more. And so I think I must again reject your trade offer. But if people really want Pat McCauley that badly for whatever fucking reason, I'm happy to kick the tires on a trade, but it's going to be on my terms, not yours. Yeah, see, this is what I find weird. Okay, I'm willing to trade him. But what if he did? I will eat his fucking salary. I don't even care, bro. If I can get a green level prospect out of him, I will make the trade. Or at least a high yellow. Like, these are not exceptional prospects, they just aren't. And so I don't really feel the need, especially when I don't have to trade him. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe I'll wait till somebody gets seriously injured or something and they're like, oh shit. Well, I certainly didn't expect that. Of all the positions I thought Ariola would pick up, he just casually learns how to fucking be a catcher. What an absolute fucking unit, man. What a guy. Just what a fucking guy. That's crazy. He's like, "Oh, is catching supposed to be hard?" What an absolute unit. Let's keep the vibes going, yo. Um yeah, where are you, my guy? Just that's just silly talk. It's the height of silliness, and I love it. I'll work on plate discipline for the rest of time. That's so funny. I'm sorry. Of all the positions I thought he would pick up, like the commenter quite rightly pointed out, he looks like he's got the chops to handle center field. But yeah, then you're just like, yeah, but what if we didn't do that? Wait, what? Oh, it's a stamina. Okay. Fairness decent. Fairness decent. Um, None of his pitches are super remarkable. In fact, none of his skills other than his stamina are top tier. But I think his floor is relatively high. This is the beginning of a possible deal. Ken Osley is mostly trash tier, as is Juan Castro. Mm, I just feel like Farron is decent, but he's not amazing. I'll tell you what, I want an actual good prospect. If you're willing to give me at least a mid tier prospect on top of this, let me drop Osley and Castro. And let me ask for not Phil Stewart, because you'll tell me no. I know how this game works. You'll just tell me to go to hell. What about Joel Cummer? That is an unfortunate name. Yeah, you know what? Fuck off, man. Fuck all the way off. I think you traded him already. Or one of them already. Oh no, you didn't. Okay. Then yeah, I don't care. I just don't care. Excellent. We got Chuco Salamanca. I think he is a nice pickup. And I know I have entirely too many first basemen. This is not lost on me. You know I forgot it but entirely about Chris Rainey. Hmm. I did forget that we acquired Chris Rainey not even a month ago. Oh, from Masuda. That's why it happened. Okay. Okay. That's fine. And we did end up picking up Nate Quinn. Yeah, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so, bro. All right, Mr. Quinn, medicine man. I'm gonna go ahead and take some of the less exciting first base prospects, and I'm gonna go ahead and pass them through. The thing is, I want to make room on the 40 man. That's what I'm trying to accomplish here. I have way too many players on the 40 man, and I want to be able to pick up a couple of guys on the Rule 5. I'm going to try to trade Ben's stuff. No, actually, I'm not. Ben's stuff is worth keeping around too. Hmm. I'm going to waive all four of you to try to make some room on the 40 man. Because I do want to add stuff. Like, there's a decent chance he could end up playing the outfield if everything went a certain way. So I want him to be on the 40 man. I don't want to lose him. As for the rest of these chuckle fucks, I don't really care. I just don't care. A veteran starting pitcher for like 1 or 2 years might be for like 1 year would be decent. But I'm not willing to back up the Brinks truck or anything. It's got to be it's got to be somebody within our price range. Like Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy sucks. I get that he's coming off of a year that's not too terribly bad, and I also get that, beggars can't be choosers, but I can get Eloy Daza for a little bit less, and he's at least young enough that he might come back. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna offer him a contract for 1 year. I'll find something to do with you, I promise. Like, he's no joke a good pitcher. I'm actually surprised he's not getting more realistic offers from people. But yeah, we do need 1 to 2 starting pitchers from somewhere. I just don't know where they come from. I feel like although we have an excellent rotation, and we do have an excellent rotation, I think there is a big trap here, which is like it's not going to take much for us to really dig into our depth, and we don't have that much depth. We just don't. I mean, Valderrama should be a starting pitcher. I don't know why he isn't starting for us, but frankly, I trust my pitching coach if he really feels that strongly about it. I'm willing to let him keep relieving, even if he is being horribly overpaid. Juan Trevino sucks. Alvaro Mendoza sucks. Like, it's not even about Pat McCauley at this point. It's that you're offering me joking offers. Like, there's none of these offers appeals to me even 1%. Like, you're not getting a player like McCauley if I'm not getting at least a yellow level prospect out of him. You're not. I have too much self respect. David Romero has signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's probably because they guaranteed to make you the closer, which I wasn't willing to do. So you do you, boo. You do you. We lost Chase Zawadski. That's fine. Like, he's an okay player. I'm not saying he's like dog shit or whatever, but yeah, I don't think he's that amazing. We could bring back Chris Perry, which would be the funniest possible outcome, but he's a shadow. He's a shadow of his former self. Remember when he used to be an okay pitcher? Pepper Charm remembers. Killer Swenson, huh? I don't hate him. I think he is a worthy Rule 5 pick for us. Let's go. Ron Cram, what if we got yet another first baseman? What if we just signed every first baseman in the league? No one else can have a first baseman. It's brilliant. It's a flawless strategy. How could you not love it? A guy who throws this hard, oh, is already on my team. Oops. That would have been an awkward conversation. Yeah, it's like, okay, a guy like Alfredo Ramos is very clearly bait, but I just don't think he's worth it. I don't. He can't really play any position but first base all that well. And yes, he has elite power, but he has no other offensive skill. None. I don't think I do anything else in this Rule 5 draft. I think I got what I wanted. So I am content. The Rocky Mountain Vibes. What an incredible name for a team. Oh, interesting. You're not even associated with anybody. You're an independent league team. Is that our Alex Winter? It is our Alex Winter. Good for you, man. I could just cut a check for $250,000. That's awesome. That being said, I didn't even realize we had independent leagues at this point. Search all leagues. Anyone for potential to lose 50. Let's go. A bunch of free agents. Like, holy shit. I don't want actual free agents because I'm not prepared to spend a whole lot of money for them. Looking to see if any of the independent leagues have quality players. The Korean leagues have some. Damn, Amari Yob has really developed into an overpriced mid-tier starter. Good for him, I guess. I suppose. I consider. Fighting Nate's is an extremely great name. I'm not even gonna joke about that. That's an extremely good name. Yeah, the KBO's got some people, but looks like the Indies don't have anybody. Okay. And hitters? The Windy City Thunderbolts. Bro, you're an amazing player. Like, holy shit. Yes. 1,000 times yes. I will never spend $250,000 more effectively than getting a potential mega hitter. That's amazing. Like, that is the best $250,000 I will ever spend in an Out of the Park baseball. That's just insanely good. I'm so glad I did this when I realized that we still have functioning independent leagues. You just knock on the door, hand them a check, and like, give me your best player. And they're like, oh, thank you, sir. May we do it again? I'll be like, you're damn fucking right we are. Fredo Caballero. We have some really top tier prospects. The problem is that they're all just very far away from being well developed. Um, Trade proposal. Tim Plus is average. Win Huntingford is meh. Like, he's a first baseman. I don't care what this says. He's a first baseman, and he's so thoroughly mid in every aspect of his game that I can't. I am unable to can. I don't hate Stanchik. I don't think he's a major league starter, but I don't hate him. I don't think Jaheim Vasson is anything special. Yeah, I'm not giving up Kevin Mercer at this point, or Robbie Reese. Robbie Reese might actually end up starting for me this year, so I literally cannot afford to trade him. I cannot give you the Christmas miracle that you seek. Okay, brilliant. Wow. A pitcher like Jimmy Harmon, it's not that he's a bad pitcher, and he's actually a relatively decent bargain, but like, that's just so crazy to me. That he's earning $10 million. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? 75 stolen bases is bonkers. That's a lot of stolen bases. Mm, a lefty junk baller with lots of stand up, very little else, doesn't really strike me as the kind of player I'm going to get excited about. Gunnar Henderson didn't make it, but Logan Gilbert, Vladimir Guerrero, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto all did. Fascinating. Truly fascinating. Truly fascinating. Bobby Collins is okay. I feel like at this point, I just need to stop taking these emails. Like, call me when you have a serious offer. Now, what if I offered you two mid-tier prospects or Pat McCauley? I just don't think that's a good value. I don't think that helps me. Which money do I have left? I have 20 million. What if I maxed out my player development budget? No, I just picked 4 million. Uh, we want one, two, one, two, three, one, two, three. Oh, for real? Oh, yeah, it is. It's 42 something, I think. Wait, 50? Okay, there it goes. And then I will pay 27 million for Scout. There we go. Oh, right. I actually meant to sign an international amateur as well. Apart from being a little bit slow, Sergio Montoya is a pretty perfect infield prospect. Like the only other guy I would even remotely consider is Jesus Balboa because I do want more pitching. But I just think that Mr. Montoya here is the right choice if he's willing to sign with us for the signing bonus that I have access to. How much am I allowed to have? 4.75 million. Yeah, I can't compete with that. And you know that I can't compete with that. So, yeah, don't be silly. I'm going to try to get Balboa on the cheap if I can manage it. But if I don't get him, I don't get him. I'm not willing to get into an extended offer for him when I don't think he's a flawless candidate by any imagination, or by any stretch of the imagination, rather. He took the cheaper deal. Good for us. Choate's getting better. Quinn is throwing harder, which is pretty wild, given that he's already fairly old for a baseball player. Yeah. Remember we had David Gaona? I remember David Gaona. Do you remember David Gaona? Remember how the team that drafted him from me just fucking let him leave on waivers? That was so funny. That was a comedy of errors of the highest caliber. Keith Van. Yeah. Spring training. I want to hand out some invites to people that are worthy of it. Boardman, Heil, Christie, Nelson, Adams, Knipper, Kozumi, Pratt, Bennett, Mercer, Ivanich. And I think that works. I think that's a pretty good set of spring training people. We're gonna have some tricky decisions to make when the season gets ready to start, because I think we have a lot of players we'll have to deal with. Nobody got worse, but Billy Pickering did get better at control, which I greatly appreciate, because he's important. He is an important guy this season. I'd love to see one or two starting pitchers like, oh my god, game, really, really, really. I mean, I should be grateful it's only partially torn. I guess that's the silver lining I have to be accepting of. I was just getting ready to say, I don't think we have a lot of depth in starting pitching, and then you fucking are like, see, rip. Like, don't do that, bro. Don't tase me. Billy Pickering's getting better. Robbie Reese is getting a little better. Other people are just like either spinning their wheels or getting slightly worse. It is what it is. Mike Bennett is improving, which is very nice. Like, I only have room for so many catchers on one club. Like, at a certain point, I'm just going to have to start telling people to get lost. This is going to be a very interesting offseason because I have so many players on the roster for the first time that just need to find a place or be traded or even be cut. Or, designated for assignment, but You know, I didn't even remember that Manny Acta was the manager of the Guardians, but they're correct, he was. Sorry, I don't want to sim all the way up to the end of the month. I just want to sim up to the 18th. Like, I genuinely don't care how you perform in string training. I mean, seeing Sergio Zapata hitting 430 is a pretty cool thing. I'm just gonna sim one additional day just because I have Swenson. Okay, now I know that he's healthy. Yeah, we can start making decisions here. All right. So I'm currently carrying 19 pitchers. At most, I would like to carry 12, possibly 13. Adams is gone. Boardman is gone. Mercer is super gone. Ivanich is gone. Vuz is gone. I've got to get rid of 1 to 2 more pitchers. Probably 2. We have such a deep bullpen, it's actually kind of tricky to decide who should go. Like, Saldana definitely seems like somebody who needs. No, Saldana had an amazing year last year. I definitely send Swenson back to the Guardians, and the question is who else goes? I think Carmona. Yeah. Like, I want to get rid of Robbie Reese, I do, but I just don't have that option. I don't have a reasonable thing there. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know why the game won't let Valderrama start. If they just want him to be a really good reliever, that's fine, but I'm very concerned by the fact that the AI just thinks, oh, he can just be a reliever. I really think he should be starting over a Robbie Reese. I really genuinely believe that. Is he just like, yeah, I guess he is just not that good. I'm gonna try to trade Valorama. I'm gonna see if anybody is interested in him. I would take on a relatively bad contract that I could get rid of quickly. No, he doesn't want to do it. That's fine. That's fine. We'll figure it out. 12 pitchers is good. When you've only got 25 guys, you don't really want to have more than 13 pitchers, but I think 12 is enough. 3 catchers. I mean, Kimmins hasn't been super impressive in 2 consecutive seasons. Maybe Mike Bennett's the answer. Maybe he is. I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to give a rookie a chance to be a backup catcher. I think that's a fair question. Chris Rainey is injured. Luera to the minors. Contreras to the minors. I do like Arzola. I do. So let me try to trade him rather than lose him for nothing. I think that's a very realistic possibility that we just lose him for nothing. Kosho Saito is fine, I guess. If I can get Jurado and Saito, then that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna take for him. Can I get another player? Is that being greedy? Maybe. I love a guy like Chad Turs. Okay, okay. I'm getting high quality prospects, which I'm very happy about. And let's also go for Jesus Orozco. Eh, I'm willing to take this deal as it is. I don't rate Arzola very highly, and I'd rather just get some more people. I am going to shortlist him though. I do feel like Arzola's got some upside to him, and he's just never had a chance to show it. But he's a weird first baseman. Like he's a deeply weird kind of first baseman because he doesn't hit for much power, and he has to draw like stupid numbers of walks to be a viable player. So Heil's definitely going back to the minors. Jesus Padilla at this point is not worthy of being on the major league roster. He just isn't. Knippers to the minors. Jeff Shomo to the minors. Gavarat Kozumi to the minors. Why do I have to do it again? I already waived him once. I will do it again if I have to. No, if somebody claims him, they claim him. I don't really care. Alright, Nelson to the minors. Patio's okay. I think he's at least worthy of a spot on the bench. Brendan Emery is decent, but Ariola is really, really good. So I think... No, it's Bouger, isn't it? No, because Emery only plays first and third and right field. Moreno might make the roster. I have to think about it. Ben Stop definitely goes to the minors. Steve Pratt to the minors. Burkett to the minors, I think. Because the guy just added the 40 man, right? Yeah, you are. Okay. Yeah, you're going to go to the minors. Six outfielders is excessive, and if I'm going to send anyone else on, it's going to be Frank Moreno. But I'm at least willing to look at the other positions before I make that determination. If you're asking why I'm going to keep Salvado, it's quite simply, I think he doesn't have much left to learn in the minor leagues, and I think the others do. So just letting him play in the majors, even if he's just a reserve, I think is reasonable. All right. I'm going to put Chris Rainey on the 10-day IL just to get him off the roster for right now. I feel like Ormerod is worth keeping on the roster. So I think Emery goes. I think Bouger goes. Which means that to get rid of one more outfielder. And then the question becomes, is it Andres Luna or is it Frank Moreno? In this case, it's an easy decision. Frank Moreno has options left and has never played in AAA, so he gets sent to the minors. I don't know how it's going to go this season. I am concerned about the depth of our starting pitching. And while I think we have very, very good. Oh, well, okay, fine. Patio is fine. Like, here's the thing: I'm not paying Shuko here several $1 million a year to not play as our starting first baseman. Um, can Rainey play any other position? I wonder. Not really. Then I think as soon as he's healthy, he goes to the minor leagues. For now. Because I just quite frankly can't carry two first basemen. Now I only have 25 men on the roster, so. How do I feel about this team? Oh, God. Are you actually stupid? Why on earth would you ever want a low on base guy to be your leadoff guy? Just because he steals bases? Bro, I'll give you your due and let you figure it out, but that seems like such a stupid idea to me. Like a comically stupid idea. Whatever, bro. You do what you gotta do, man. Um, yeah, this is an interesting lineup. It's full of players who are either getting their first whole season with the Swords, like Baltastuzzi. I think on the Kansas Cyclone, but he's from Venezuela and has at no point been in Kansas, but sure. And Fuso's an old friend. Zapata, Couples are all old friends. Rivera. Salazar's really carving out a niche for himself, either at second or third, which is amazing. Um, I think Ariola's got a chance to be a huge piece of this team. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he develops because I think he's our natural leadoff hitter. I think if I could pick one player on this team to be a leadoff guy, it's him. He just has to work on his ability to put his actual skills into practice. I am also deeply concerned about the fact, by the way, if we look at his career stats, he has never hit for average in the minor leagues, not even once. Not even in the PCL. So I am concerned about that. And I think that may mean he doesn't have much of an upside, but I'm at least willing to give him the opportunity. I'm willing to let him play himself out of the position. So Shuko is the only person who's new to the Silver Wolves entirely. I do think we need more power in this lineup that's at least consistent. So I don't know. We're gonna see what he can do, and if he can stabilize the middle of this lineup. Billy Pickering has a massive role on the Silver Wolves this year. He was just like another guy last year, but now he's an everyday starter. I've got Eloy Daza, who I'm paying next to no money for, who at least seems to be a decent back of the rotation guy, although I don't love his stamina. We have Robbie Reese, who barely played at all last year and is again in a major situation now. Nate Quinn is being paid to be our bullpen guy, our setup guy instead of Mendoza. I'm fine with giving him a chance. I'm more than happy to let him see if he can handle shit. Our bullpen is really good. I also think it's hugely overpaid, and I think Valderrama is hilariously overpaid. Middle relievers should not be making $14 million a year. They shouldn't. So we're gonna have to see if we can maybe move him at some point and free up some of our options here. I do think our minor league system is actually in surprisingly good shape. Um, we've got a lot of very high ceiling guys, but also some decently high floor guys. Um, like we have three technical rookies on this club right now in Pickren, Carmona, and Bennett, which is really, really good. We have a bunch of players that are near the major leagues. The problem is they're all of our low ceiling players, and the ones who are much higher ceiling, are quite far away from the major leagues. So that's basically we're gonna have to monitor as time progresses, to see how these guys are doing and if they can start making a move here. Um, I just want Carmona to get a little bit more. Oh, Carmona's a starter. Okay, if Carmona's a starting pitcher, Saldana was so good last year, so good. But I need a starting pitcher that I can trust. And unless I could, I mean, I could hilariously send Valderrama to the minor leagues. Does anybody want him? What if I ate 25% of his salary? 50? Ah, fuck you. I feel like Robbie Reese is getting the job because someone thinks he has to have it. I really think we need Carmona in the rotation, or at least available to pitch in the rotation. I'm gonna try to trade Pat McCauley again. I'm gonna see if anybody's really eager to have him on their club. Yeah, nobody wants him anymore. What, are you a 10-5 guy now? Is that why all of a sudden nobody wants you? No, you're not a 10-5 guy. What if I ate his salary? Does that buy me a decent prospect? No. Mm. I just send down Saldana. It's better for the club to have Carmona and have him as an option in the rotation versus what we currently have. I mean, yes, Carmona is currently relieving, which I think is a waste of his talent, but I don't mind that. I don't mind him getting his arms stretched out with the potential of being used in a different role in the future. But I mean, here's the thing, right? Like Choate will eventually come back. Um, I mean, okay, maybe he was not guaranteed to come back, but and getting a pitcher of his caliber back, especially if he comes back healthy, is ginormous. I think that's the scientific term for it. Like he instantly turns us into championship contenders just having another pitcher of his caliber. It's just really good. So it's going to be about Jarvis, Carrillo, and particularly Pickren all just hanging on. Just hang on until Choke can come back. It's going to be about seeing if the lineup can develop further. Um, we only have two starters that are 30 or older, and one of them is arguably the best player that's ever put on a Charlotte Silverwolves uniform, who, by the way, is going to get to 2,000 hits this year. So, yeah. Alright, friends, until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you